And we're back to the US now, and a new Reuters Ipsos poll has Kamala Harris ahead of Donald Trump after a second day of campaigning following Joe Biden's decision to not seek re-election this year. Joining us live now is Spencer Critchley, a former communications advisor in Barack Obama's presidential campaign. Spencer, good to have you with us this morning. So you were always going to get a sugar hit. That's come in this new poll, and you've got record funding as well. But can that be sustained?
Well, the early signs certainly are promising. This is the largest fundraising response in the history of American politics. The grassroots volunteer response has been enormous as well, going from, I think, on the order of hundreds of volunteers joining the campaign under President Biden per week to, last I saw, something like 58,000 volunteers during the last couple of days. I also think that Vice President Harris's first steps have been very promising, at least from the Democratic point of view, or I would argue the pro-democracy point of view under present circumstances. She's come out as a very strong campaigner. And of course, we have to expect it's not going to be this exciting and euphoric for Democrats all the way along. It's going to get very difficult very fast, as presidential campaigns do.
No doubt. But will she be the nominee for the party?
Oh, I think almost undoubtedly. She's already secured the delegates that she needs to become the official nominee. And so I think, and no challengers have emerged. And so I think it's really just down to the technicality of declaring her the nominee.
So when do you expect your old boss, Barack Obama, would endorse her?
I would expect that actually just about any time. He has held off, as did former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, although Pelosi has already come out and endorsed Kamala Harris. But I'm virtually certain that Barack Obama has held off, as he always does in such situations, because he's aware that his endorsement carries enormous weight, and he's always reluctant to endorse one candidate over another for fear of dividing the party until the party and its members have chosen that candidate.
Spencer, Kamala has got an effective attack line as a former prosecutor that she knows Donald Trump's type. We played a little bit of that earlier, but choppy waters are indeed ahead. When you look at the inflation problem, when you look at the poor southern border problem, how will she navigate those very important issues?
I think she's doing an excellent job already. I think this is one reason why it looks so promising. It's not just that she's performing well in terms of the nonverbal presentation, which is critically important in politics, as Donald Trump shows, but I think that she's got very powerful substantive arguments. And I think she's right to start with the most important one of all, which is that this is a choice between a party that is now, it is not too much to say, is devoted to ending American democracy as we know it and turning the United States, the world's first modern democracy, into an authoritarian country. And that is ultimately the choice. As she has been describing it the past couple of days, it's a choice between, now let me just check to make sure I remember this correctly. It's a choice between freedom, compassion, and the rule of law, or a country of chaos, fear, and hate. And as she says, each American, while we're still a democracy, that is, has that choice to make for themselves. But ultimately, that is the choice. Other issues like immigration, the actually remarkable performance of the economy under President Biden, those arguments need to be made. But the most important context is really, do we want to continue to be a democracy or not?